Did you know that the Chesapeake Bay estuary is the largest estuary in the United States? Many of you are probably asking yourselves right now, what exactly is an estuary? An estuary is a mixture of fresh and salt water. Salt water comes up from the ocean and mixes with the fresh water which flows into the bay from the Chesapeake Bay watershed. That's right. Many of you live only minutes away from the United States' largest estuary. Through my extensive research, I have learned a lot about the bay that I would like to share with you today. First, I'd like to inform you a little bit about the bay, the species that live in the bay, and the various recreational activities and jobs that the bay provides. Let's start off talking a little bit about the bay. According to ChesapeakeBay.net, the Chesapeake Bay watershed includes all of the surrounding land that drains into the bay. If you look behind me here, you see a map of the Chesapeake Bay watershed. The Chesapeake Bay watershed is 64,000 square miles and covers 6 states, including West Virginia, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, and New York. And there's over 100,000 different streams and rivers that all flow into the Chesapeake Bay. Not only is the Chesapeake Bay include 6 different states, it is over 200 miles long, stretching from the northern part of Maryland down to Virginia Beach in Virginia. It also includes 15 trillion gallons of water, and at its widest point is 35 miles wide, and at its deepest point is 175 feet deep, although it is relatively shallow with an average depth of around 20 feet. Now that we know a little bit about the bay, let's talk about some of the species that live in the bay. First, let's start off with the Chesapeake Bay blue crab. The blue crab is one of the more well-known species that live in the bay. It also has a very unique anatomy. If you look behind me, you see the Chesapeake Bay blue crab has 2 claws, 6 walking legs, and 2 swim paddles used for swimming. The crab spends most of its time on the bottom of the bay floor. Another interesting fact about the crab is it can survive long amounts of time out of water. It also, the female can carry over 1 million eggs at a time. And it's not only a predator, it is a prey of many species. According to Sally Walker, the blue crab keeps the bay clean by feeding on the dead animals that fall to the bay floor. Another species that lives in the Chesapeake Bay is the Chesapeake Bay striped bass. The striped bass migrates into the Chesapeake Bay from the Atlantic Ocean to spawn, and spends most of the spring, summertime, and fall time in the bay. It also feeds on smaller fish and oysters. Speaking of oysters, the Atlantic oyster is a very important part of the Chesapeake Bay. It acts as a filter, filtering out pollutants, helping the bay to stay clean. Now that we know a little bit about the bay, and the sources and the species that live in the bay, let's talk a little bit about the jobs and recreational activities that the bay provides. The blue crab provides many jobs and recreational activities for people around the world. The blue crab harvest contributes 1/3 of the nation's crab harvest each year and brings in $50 million a year. Not only is it a major source for economics, it is also a source for many recreational crabbers. Many recreational crabbers use this here called a collapsible crab trap. They drop the crab trap in the water, it hits the bay floor, the 4 doors open, and the bait that is placed in the middle of the trap lures the crab into the trap. They wait a period of 15 to 20 minutes, pull the rope, and hopefully trap a crab inside. Crabbing is not the only recreational activity that the bay provides. It also provides fishing and other sports such as water skiing and wakeboarding. I hope you guys have learned something from my speech today, including the various species that live in the bay, the jobs and recreational activities that the bay provides, and a general background of the bay. If you'd like to learn more about the bay, you can visit websites such as ChesapeakeBay.net to learn more. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, that was pretty
Yes,
cool.
sir.
Thank you.